Nittai Gaura Haribol, 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 Nittai Gaura Haribol. Jayam Vishnupad Paramhamsa Parivracharya Stotra Shri Srimad His Divine Grace A.C. Bhakti Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki. Jayam Vishnupad Paramhamsa Parivracharya Stotra Shri Srimad Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Maharaj Prabhupada Ki Jai. Ananta Koti Vaishnav Vrinda Ki Jai. ISKCON founder Acharya Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Nama Acharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Jai. प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिव शादि गौर भक्त वृंद की जाय श्री श्री राधा कृष्ण गोपी गोपीनाथ श्याम कुंद राधा कुंद गिरवत गोवर्धन की जाय श्री वृंदावन धाम की जाय श्री मायापुर धाम की जाय गंगा माई की जाय यमुना माई की जाय तुलसी देवी की जय भक्ति देवी की जय श्री हरि नाम संकीर्तन की जय सामवेद भक्त वृंद की जय नित्य गौर प्रेमानंदे हरि हरि बोल. All glory is to the assembled devotees. All glory is to the assembled devotees. All glory is to the assembled devotees. All glory is to Shri Shri Guru and Shri Gauranga. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Vastai Bhutale Shrimati Bhakti Tirtha Swamiti Namaste Krishna Padaya Prashadatmane Shri Gauragana Shakti Bhakti Tirtha Namane. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Vastai Bhutale Shrimati Bhakti Vedanta Swamiti Namane. Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirveshesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine. So we have had a very nice learning journey for the past 8 weeks on the prayers of Lord Chaitanya. As we all know that Lord Chaitanya did not write volumes and volumes of books. He only wrote 8 prayers, the Sri Shikshastaka. Shiksha means instruction, Astaka means 8. And in those 8 verses of his prayers, it's the whole summation of Krishna consciousness. But to learn and study each of those verses, it doesn't happen over 1 week, 1 month. It takes years. I can vouch for myself. I'm still learning after 30 years. So it takes a lot of learning, a lot of studying. So we were very blessed that we were able to cover the 8 verses, and today will be the summary of the 8 verses, and I will try my best to summate all the 8 verses into one class and make it as simple as possible so that we can take something home with us. It's very, very important that when we hear a class or a lecture, at least one point from that lecture that we have heard should come home with us. You know, like there's this very famous, I don't know if it still exists, but you know, many years ago they had this American Express TV advertisement, don't leave home without it. So we don't want to leave home without a verse, at least one takeaway point from this class. So the 8 verses is called the sacred necklace. Each one of us have a tulsi necklace on us. It's sacred and it's pure. And the whole summation of the 8 verses is put in our neck beads that we wear around our neck as protection, so that every time we see that necklace, the tulsi neck bead on our neck, it is to remind us that we have a collar, like how the dogs have collar. When there's a collar on a dog, it has the inscription of the name of the owner, so that when the dog gets lost, we know who to contact. But for us, the owner is Krishna. So when we have the tulsi neck bead around our neck, it's saying that my mind, my body, my soul, everything that is in me, of me, belongs to the Lord. And he can do whatever he wants because he's the owner. So it's a very special prayer. So the first summation of the first verse, click it, Vishaka, is cleaning our hearts. Cleaning our hearts. The first verse of the prayer is, how do we clean our hearts? We all have homes that we live in. And every week, at least weekly, we clean our house. If we do not clean our house, we'll see dust accumulating, bugs flying around, dirt on the floor. We clean our house every week. Now, if we do not clean our house, what happens? The dirt accumulates. If we ignore it, it accumulates more. Now, if we clean our house one time in a week, are we done cleaning our house? How many of us have cleaned our house one time and it's all clean for the next 33 years of the loan? Nobody. Every week we clean our house because the dust accumulates. In that same way, we clean our hearts. As soon as we see little dirt in our hearts, we clean it, we remove it, and we go back and we clean it. And why is it that we have to clean our hearts every week? It's because we have bombarded with so many outside externalities, so many, materialistic life that is distracting us, deviating us, bombarding us, and having us fall in Maya, as they say, that we forget that we have been sucked in by the materialism. So we have to clean our hearts. And sometimes there are some that's dirt in the house where we can't see. Can you give a guess? What dirt in the house that we cannot see with our naked eyes? Where will we find that dirt? Any guess? You're sitting right on one right now. Carpet. You will never see the dirt on the carpet until you vacuum and you see your canister filling up with dust. Right? Because the dirt is not visible. But when you clean, you say, oh my God, I just vacuumed this carpet. All of a sudden the canister filled up. What happened? Some dirt we can't see. But the dirt that we can see are the dangerous ones because we tend to, ignore it. Ignore it. So in the same way, we have to clean our hearts. Now, how do we clean our hearts? We have to hear. We have to increase our hearing. That is the only way we can clean our hearts. There is a reason why we have 2 ears and 1 mouth. If you think about it, we don't have 2 mouths. Thank God. If we had 2, we are in big trouble. We can beat BBC.com and CNN.com and WGAL.com. It'll be quicker than a telex, That is Krishna's mercy. You have only 1 mouth. Thank God. But the interesting part is, which one runs faster? The mouth runs faster. This one is out of commission. This one, the mouth runs faster, but the ear said, I'll be selective in my hearing. The reason being is the tongue has no bones. If you think about it, the tongue has no bones. It just goes, it's very wobbly. And it moves when we want it to move because there are no bones. But the tongue is also it's a very sharp razor. The tongue can either break us or it can mend us. So it's really important that we recognize and the dirt that we have to clean within ourselves. And it's not only in this lifetime of cleaning. We have to clean many lifetimes. We don't even know what we did in the last life. We don't know how many lifetimes we've been around. Because Krishna is so kind, he took that memory from our minds. Like if we knew, Hare Krishna, I don't know whether we will be here. That's Krishna's mercy. So we are not cleaning the dirt in this lifetime. We are cleaning the dirt over accumulation of many lifetimes. So the cleaning has to go on. It's not a one-time cleaning. It's a constant cleaning. We got to clean. Just like a house. We clean our house every week. We vacuum every week. We Windex every day, every week, right? And if we do not Windex the mirror, what happens? We don't have a clear vision of what's happening outside. Same thing with our hearts. We gotta clean, we gotta clean, we gotta clean. The more we clean our hearts, the more it will open the doors to the spiritual world. But it happens consistently. It's not a one-time cleaning. Now, the second verse is, once we start cleaning our hearts, then we realize, oh my God, I'm so unfortunate. I'm really lost. I messed up. I need help. That's when we realize, I am very unfortunate. And even though we clean the house, there will always be some stubborn dirt. I don't know about you guys, but the most stubborn dirt in my house is the cabinets above the stove. Oh my Lord, because of all the cooking, the grease and the grime. I remember, trying to, when we moved here in 2015, 16, okay. And of course, new house, everything is nice. Cabinets, thank God, try to maintain it, didn't last long. And I've tried all kinds of solutions to clean that grime until I told my sister, she says, get the mean green. I said, man, that thing is really mean, and that worked. So I have to always clean that cabinet above the stove because that's where the stubborn dirt sticks. Now, if I were to ignore the cabinet above the stove because I can't find the cleaning, what happens? Layers of grease comes on. Layers of grease comes on. Now it takes 3, 4, 5 times the effort to put the mean green solution and soak it for 3 hours and scrub it down. That's the heart. We have to consistently clean and clean until we realize how unfortunate we are that we never realize that we've been carrying all this dirt in our heart. It will take us to get to the stage of feeling unfortunate to really get the taste of the holy name. If we do not feel we are unfortunate, we will never get the taste of the holy name. If we feel we are fortunate, oh, I got all this. Man, I'm very blessed. I got this, I'm very fortunate, I'm blessed. Then we start feeling that I am the controller. It's because of me that I got all this. It's because of my hard work, my academics, my, whatever I've done in school and work to the college and work, that I base all my efforts. Once we start thinking that way, we will never understand the taste of the holy name. In order to taste the holy name, we have to think, I am a fallen, conditioned soul, so unfortunate that now I realize how much dirt I have been cleaning in my heart. So when we begin to chant, and if we still cannot feel the power of the holy name, that means we have to ask ourselves, what caused me to be so unfortunate? What caused me to become so unfortunate? I read a very nice quote by Chandramali Swami a few years ago. And one devotee was asking him, Maharaj, I've been chanting for so many years and I still don't have the taste. Says, you keep on chanting and your heart will be cleaned up. And he says, how long will it take? He says, there's no timeline to this. It's not textbook. It takes years because you are carrying lifetimes, not just this lifetime, many, many lifetimes of dirt. And then he says, when you get to the stage, when you come to the crossroad where you feel that I'm so unfortunate, my heart is steel frame with no emotions. What did I do to get to the stage of being unfortunate? The biggest thing is offenses. The first offense is when we make offenses to the holy name. And when do we make offenses to the holy name? When we are not attentive in our chanting. For example, if we are attending class in school, the teacher is giving a class, and we are on our cell phone, how much attention are we giving to the lecture? We have so many kids here who are in school and college. If you're on your cell phone, duck, 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 which is a very common disease, unfortunately, duck, 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 right? And the teacher is giving a class. Where's your attention? I'm sure we all have one mouth. We can use the one mouth. It's very safe. Don't worry. Where's our attention? On the cell phone. 50% of the class, the teacher is speaking, you don't hear nothing. I just wish teachers would hold a basket and say, put your cell phones in here. After class, come pick it up. I'm just waiting for the day when they have that policy. I would be the first one to say, Hari Bol. Because the kids don't focus in class. The same way, when we chant in class, where is our focus? No, it's not. No, it's not. It's nowhere. Because you're chanting Hare Krishna. There's focus not on chanting, and it's not on the lecture. 0 plus 0 is 0. So because the focus is not on chanting, and it's not in the class. So we just came to the temple to sit in class, and we're like, okay, I'm done. But what's the effect? Offenses to the holy name. Attentive chanting. Attentive chanting. We have to chant loud so that we can hear what we are chanting. We have to hear the holy name. I remember my husband giving a class one time, and I think it was on Bhagavatam class. It was such a nice realization for me because there was one very senior Prabhupada disciple. She left her body in 2020, Mother Krishna Nandini. Amazing devotee of Srila Prabhupada. When she chants, she will say, Hare Krishna, 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 Hare Hare. She will stress the name Krishna, Krishna. She's calling, Krishna, pay attention to me. I need your help. We got to call out on the Lord like how a child is crying for the parent. So if we want attentive chanting, we got to work on our schedule, time adjustment. And sadly, as Kali Yuga is progressing, time management is going down the drain because everything is on the computer, right? Zoom. I'm getting tired of Zoom. I don't know about you guys. It's like I'm definitely getting the Zoomitis disease. I'm sick and tired of it, But we become so lazy. And then we try to fit our chanting doing this and doing that and just to catch up with it. Right? But it's very important that we pay attention to our chanting. If we are not paying attention to our chanting, that's the first offense. Offenses to the holy name. The second offense, and one thing I want to mention, when we are not aware of our offenses, what happens? We start doing many offenses that we're not aware of. It is like what they call it? Domino effect, snowball. You do one offense, we're not aware of it. Next thing you're doing 10, 15, 20, you're like, oh, okay, big deal. We got to be very careful of our offenses. Another offense is offenses committed in the holy places. Now the $1 million question is, where are the holy places? And I know what answer I'm going to hear, so let's just shoot it out. When someone says, do not commit offense in a holy place, what is a holy place? Haribol. the first thing we'll say is Vrindavan Mayapur. Then why are we in US? Let's all migrate to Vrindavan Mayapur. Why are we in US? Prabhupada didn't do that. Prabhupada came from India to America to build temples. And he built 108 temples before he left his body in 1977. Why would a 70-year-old man, it's funny, my husband and I were just discussing it this morning, how should Prabhupada, my dad is 75. I know many devotees who are almost 70. And Prabhupada started the movement at the age of 70. And I know many devotees at the age of 70, they're saying, my body is tired. I don't have much energy. Where did Prabhupada get his energy at the age of 70? We are thinking, in fact, and this is a true fact, many of us are thinking, counting our retirement. Let's be honest. When we can retire and enjoy and just take breath. Prabhupada started the movement at the age of 70. He never said, I'm retired. From 1965 to 1977, he built 108 temples. Why did he do that? Just to kill time? Because he had nothing better to do? But time passed? No, he built these temples so that we can take this temple as our holy place. Prabhupada says, where there is a temple, where the deity of the Lord is worshipped and chanted, that is Vrindavan. So when we make offenses in the holy places, not only Vrindavan, not only Mayapur, not only in Alachua, not only in Baltimore Temple, all the temples, any offenses made in the holy place will affect our chanting, will affect our spiritual life. So we have to be very careful how we treat each other, how we care for each other, how we, there's this very, and I'm going to ask my husband, he just walked in, so that's good. There's a nice quote from my spiritual master. He says, Amma, that's, my husband can say, the one about spiritual success, you have it pretty much memorized very well. Treat devotees in such a way, the way you treat the devotees determines your spiritual success. That's pretty deep. That is really, really deep. The way we treat devotees determines whether our spiritual life will be a success or a failure. That means offenses. Very important. Another offense, seva, devotional service. Very common thing, but sometimes we don't catch ourselves. If we think of examples of offenses to devotional service, what examples can we think of? Please, Prabhu, jump right in. Not seeing through the service to completion. When we are given a service, we have to say that this is given to me by the Lord. I'm going to make sure that I see it to completion because it's mercy from Krishna. Sometimes we think, how come that devotee got to cook and I'm washing the bathrooms? Very common thing, How come that devotee is able to drive to the temple, which I've heard this before, How come that devotee can drive to so-and-so to bring the deities, and I'm supposed to sit here and set up the canopy tents? There is no grades in service. Service is service. It's not like, okay, this is a first level service, second level. Service has no grades because service is Krishna. Clearly, Prabhupada says, the holy name and devotional service is not different. It's the same. So when we get service, we should say, wow, I got service. Yay, Krishna is so kind and merciful to me. Rather than saying, I got service? Oh, can I do it next time? We give all kinds of excuses. When I was born and raised Christian as a Seventh-day Adventist. And in my Christian days, we used to have this common understanding that Jesus Christ will knock on the door of our hearts so that we can open it up for service. Same thing applies in Krishna consciousness. When we are getting service, Krishna is coming and telling us, hello, I'm coming for service. Do you want service? I'm right here. That's how we take it. Once we start giving grades to service, or first class, second class, third class, then we really haven't understood the essence of service. We have made offense. So we got to be very careful what offenses we make to service. The two biggest one, Shri Shri Gonithai ki, Jagnabai Subhadra ki jai. The two biggest service is Vaishnav Aparad and Guru Aparad. Big time. Vaishnav Aparad. Sometimes we are not aware that we have committed Vaishnav Aparad. We are not aware that we have committed devotee Aparad. Because why? We are so covered up in our own justification, in our own, we stick to our position, as they say in America, I think. Like we stand to our position that we don't think the bigger picture of, wait, is this the right way to do it? Should I have done so and so first rather than just thinking from my own point of view? Like we have to really be careful. Vaishnava Aparad is very, very careful. Very, very dangerous. And I have personally, witnessed and have seen devotees that have committed Vaishnava Aparad big time, and it's really sad how they go down in spiritual life because they take devotees for granted. We were taught by Srila Prabhupada that in every devotee, who is in our hearts? The Paramatma, the Super Soul. So we have to be very careful how we treat the devotees. Now, that doesn't mean, and I'm not saying that we have to be doormats. No. We are not doormats, we are not dustpans. But it's how we respect devotees. There's a saying, if you want to gain respect, you give the respect first. Right? We have to treat devotees nicely, properly, Krishna consciously. Communicate palatably. It's a very nice word and I believe you'll find it in Bhagavad Gita. Palatably means making a point where it's, what they say? Kosher. Kosher. Where you're saying the point, but you're saying it in such a way where you're not offending the devotee. That's why I always tell devotees, and I highly recommend devotees, if you ever come across Anuttama Prabhu's communication course, A1, it's the best course to take for any service, whether we are cooks, whether we are pujaris, whether we are managers, whether we are book distributors, it doesn't matter. Communication is very, very, very important because it's how we are able to convey our point across in a palatable, Krishna conscious way without making offenses. And when we make offenses to the devotees, Krishna doesn't forgive us, sadly. Because Krishna says, if you have offended my devotee, you have offended me. Because my devotee is more greater to me than you worshiping me. Sometimes we have this mentality or this thinking, Krishna comes first, the devotees are second. No. The devotees are first, Krishna is second. Because that is how dear the devotees are to the Lord. So, so, so dear. Very, very dear. So when we please the devotees, Krishna is automatically pleased. You know, sometimes whenever we cook a prep that we've never done, a dish, and then we offer to the deities as an offering, and we are not elevated, we don't have the divine vision, at least I don't, to know if the Lord liked the dish or not. You know, oh, is there enough salt, enough sugar, is it too thick, is it too dry? We have all these thoughts going through our heads, right? But we don't know if the Lord liked it. But how can we tell if the Lord liked the dish? How can we tell? What do you think? The devotees. Like the other day, and I'll use Ishika as a nice example, she made a blueberry halwa for Lord Nityananda's appearance day. Her first time making it. And she was so concerned if it was going to be just nice. And I told her, it's going to be fine. She goes, no, Mataji, you offer it first. I said, I cannot taste it. Obviously, I said, let me offer to Krishna. But no. I said, don't worry, it'll be fine. So I looked at it. I said, it's perfect. Of course, she wasn't satisfied because she wanted to make sure that it was good for the devotees. So when it was offered, I took a spoon and I said, girl, it rocked. Because the devotees said it was good. So when the devotees are happy, Krishna is happy. That's how we know that the Lord was happy. Another offense that's really dangerous is guru aparad, when we offend spiritual masters. Very, very, very dangerous. Offending a spiritual master is sure fall down. Sure fall down. We have to look at all spiritual masters as one. Never separate. As soon as we think that there is a difference between spiritual master, it's an offense. Because if we look at all the spiritual masters in ISKCON, what is their one and only purpose? What is their one and only focus? Srila Prabhupada. But amongst us, when we start comparing gurus, what is our focus? Mine is better than yours. That's not guru conscious. The Guru Tattva is one. For example, some of us have 1 child, 2 children, 3 children. Do we give the kids, the first one gets less love, the second one gets more love, the third kids get less love? We give them equal love. Same thing with gurus. We give our children, whether we have 1, 2, 3, 4, however many children, we give them equal love. We're not partial. They're equal to us. Same thing in spiritual master. I remember my spiritual master, when he was leaving his body, there was one god brother, won't mention his name. He started being very offensive towards my spiritual master. This was, I think, in the late 90s or early 2000s, I want to say. Because he became very scholarly in Sanskrit and the scriptures and the high-level philosophy in ISKCON, like very, very scholarly, that he started correcting my spiritual master in one class. Of course, my guru just ignored him. And after a while, he started offending my spiritual master, that at one point, he literally told my guru, I don't need a guru. I'm fine. I have all the knowledge I need. I have enough philosophy. I don't need anything. He fell down. He tried to come back to apologize when my spiritual master was leaving his body in 2005 in Gita Nagari. And he was standing right at the door of his room. And he asked another servant, can I come see Maharaj? the servant came and told my spiritual master, so-and-so would like to see you. He says, send him away. Guru aparad is very serious. We have to be very careful. You guys can come closer. I will not bite. Come closer. You're all squished at the back like a sandwich. Come. Believe me, I am definitely vegetarian. I promise you that. You know, so offenses to Guru should be definitely checked. Interestingly, as we mentioned earlier, when we continue to commit one particular offense, inevitably we'll continue to commit more than one offense. It's like cancer. You know, it grows on one cell, then it starts spreading. When you ignore it, it starts spreading. Next thing you know, the whole body is spread because we didn't take care of it. Same thing with offenses. If we have committed one offense continuously and never checked it, be aware. That means we have done more than one offense. It just happens as a habit because we didn't catch it. So it's very important that we are very aware of our weaknesses. Because and that is our unfortunate position. Knowing all this, we're unfortunate. We are lost in this crazy ocean of birth and death. So once we start realizing how unfortunate we are, how lost we are, how much work it is to clean our hearts lifetime after lifetime. How many offenses we've made, not in this life, in many lifetimes, right? How many offenses we've made, then it's time to check our consciousness. Like how how we check the car, check the engine oil, like if we do not check all the car stuff, it's going to fall flat on the highway. So we have to be checking. So it's time to check the engine oil in our minds and see, how am I approaching life? That means we have to work on humility and tolerance. That's the third verse. If we remember, it's not on there. If we can remember let's try to repeat it. Trinadapi sunechena. Harivo. That is on this Tulsi bead. When they put that on our initiation, that means we have to work on humility and tolerance. And we have to work on it not 1 week, not 1 year, not 10 years, forever. It doesn't get cleaned up. Like a house. We cannot clean the house just 1 week. We've got to clean it every single week. Until, whatever. We move out or we get to another house or we just die. We got to clean it. So humility and tolerance is what we have to work on. Once we know that we are unfortunate, we have done so many offenses, we are lost, we are messed up, we've done this, we've done that. Okay, how am I approaching life? I need to work on humility and tolerance. Then the next question is, what is blocking humility and tolerance? And you know what it is? It's the life we live. We live in a competitive society. We are taught how to achieve high, get A's, don't come back with 99%, you gotta get 100%, I'm gonna beat you up. I've heard parents tell kids, and I feel so sorry when they do that. You gotta compete. If you wanna grow, you gotta bring that guy down so you can take the guy. We live in a competitive society where it's all about greed, right? Gotta get this. I gotta achieve this. I gotta get there. I gotta do this. We are always trying to bring someone else down so that we can get that spot. That's the society we live in. And that society don't teach us humility and tolerance. It doesn't. If anything, it makes us the opposite. It doesn't teach us. So we are living in Kali Yuga in a world where we are not being taught humility and tolerance. And it doesn't happen only in the jobs. Sometimes we think it's only my job. No, it happens in the household. I was watching a very nice video by a very senior disciple of Jayapataka Swami, Mother Nitai Sevni. I love her lectures, and if you can Google her and hear her lecture, she's pretty powerful. She made a comment, and she says, as parents, we always tell our children, did you do your homework? Do you have a test tomorrow? Did you learn for your test? Did you learn for your exam? Did you pass the test? What was your score? It's all material. But we never ask our children or tell them how to learn to be humble. We never do that. If anything, we teach our kids, be tough, be macho. You gotta fight in this crazy world. You gotta compete and bring them down to make it up there. That's what we teach our children. We never ask our kids how to be Krishna conscious. We spend more time telling our kids how to go fight out there and not be Krishna conscious. And I was like, wow, that was an amazing point she made in that class. So it's on us to learn to be humble and tolerance. Now, the question is, what is blocking the humility and tolerance? Anger, greed, lust, envy, illusion. Am I missing one point? I think I am. Oh, yes. There we go. False ego. I own it all. That's why I forgot the point, right? These are the 6 enemies of the mind. The 6 enemies of the mind that blocks humility and tolerance. And we have to slowly work on that. Now, the million-dollar question is, how do I remove them? I was watching a very nice video yesterday with my husband, and it was by Dinabandhu Prabhu. And he asked Srila Prabhupada, how can we get rid of the 6 enemies, especially lust? Srila Prabhupada says, devotional service. The more service you do, the more all those 6 enemies will slowly go away. Only by service. Now, and I believe His Holiness Chandramali Swami also mentioned in his Srimad Bhagavatam class last week on Thursday that we have to perform practical devotional service. Because the more service we do, what are we doing? We're cleaning our hearts. Clean, 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 clean. The more service we do. And the best service, the best service to do to clean our hearts is what? Cleaning, mother. Cleaning. The best of cleaning is cleaning the bathrooms and washing pots. The best. If we want to grow in Krishna consciousness, wash pots and clean bathrooms. Seriously. But you know what? How many of us hate that? Let's be honest. How many of us like, cleaning, washing pots? We think a million times for an excuse to run out of the window of the door. But that is the quickest way to grow in Krishna consciousness is to clean. Menial service. We've heard that term, menial service, a lot. Menial means cleaning. And if you ask every sannyasi in ISKCON, you can take the list of sannyasis in ISKCON and go through every one of them and ask them, Maharaj, what was your first service? Cleaning bathrooms. What was your first service? Washing pots. What was your first service? Mopping the floor. What was your first service? Washing the floor. That was their first service. And they didn't do it for 1 year, they did it for years. But sometimes we think, oh, I've done it for 1 year. I think I'm good. Graduation time. Service does no end. That's the only way it's going to clean us out of our anger, our pride, our envy, our lust, our false ego, our greed, our illusion, and selfishness. Only then can we become humble and tolerant. If we start giving excuses to all of that, then all these enemies will be lingering in our minds, and it blocks our humility, it blocks our tolerance. And when it blocks that, then we become more unfortunate, unfortunately. Then we make ourselves more unfortunate. And when we begin, next slide, Saki. And when we begin to realize our unfortunate position, that when we begin to realize, yes, I messed up, I need some serious help, and yes, I have all this anger, I have all this, greed and selfishness and illusion and so and so. Once we begin to realize, I have this issue, and I need to develop humility and tolerance, then we take shelter of devotional service. Because devotional service is devotional service is Krishna. Devotional service is Krishna. We take shelter of devotional service. And the more we take shelter of devotional service, the more we will begin to overcome the 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, whatever enemies of the mind. The less service we have, the more we become lazy. Lots of excuses. It's a very common thing. And thanks to COVID, it gave us a very, very good excuse to be lazy. Couch potatoes, as they call it in America, So, and to come out after 2 years is like what? Pulling teeth. I've never been to a dentist to pull teeth, thank God, and I hope it doesn't happen. Krishna, please, I'm so scared of pain, but it's like pulling teeth. Because it's so hard to go, oh, I got to drive 20, 30, 40 minutes to the temple. That was torture. Devotional service. So we take shelter of devotional service. Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita, if you really, and he told this to Arjuna, we know the Bhagavad Gita, but following it is very difficult. As they say, we have to walk our talk. But sometimes we don't walk our talk. We just listen, and it comes out, and then it goes in the ether, and then it doesn't come back again, then it comes back again, it goes again. But Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita to Arjuna, if you really want to know me, what is the process? I need to hear from the men. They're all sleeping, I think. Come on, let's wake up. Devotional service. Devotional service. Did he say to meditate? Swarnavaranga, did he say to meditate? Devotional service. What is devotional service? And like I said, there's always service. There is never no service in Krishna consciousness, I'll tell you right now. Niti Gopal knows that, Swana Gauranga knows that, the book team has always have service. You want service, you will see them. There's always service in the temple. Devotional service is the answer. Krishna says to Arjuna, if you want to know me, the process is bhakti yoga. And bhakti yoga is devotional service. And the more devotional service we do, the more we realize that we are Das, Anudas. We are servants of the Lord. We have to come to that realization that I am a servant of the Lord. But it's a process. And we're just on the 4th verse. It's a process. Nothing that I have belongs to me. Right? This is Lord Chaitanya's prayers. It's not my prayer. This is Lord Chaitanya's prayer, and Lord Chaitanya was none other than Radhakrishna himself. So the Lord is giving us the answer in his 8 prayers. That we have to approach the Lord with devotional service, because just as Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam is none different from the Supreme Lord. Similarly, chanting of the holy name and devotional service is none different from the Lord. And by human nature, we are servants, right? We serve our parents, we serve our husbands, we serve our wives, our children, our boss, our co-workers. Why not serve God? We serve everyone else. Why not serve God? Right? So, and the more we do service, the more we get eternal happiness. Because in this material world, everything is temporary. Nothing is permanent. Today it's happiness, tomorrow it's distress. Next day is happiness, the fourth day is distress. That's the dualities of the material world. It's not permanent. But if we want permanent happiness, then we have to serve God. Because only through the Lord can we get happiness. And by serving the Lord, we will begin to realize that we are servants of the Lord, and everything else that I'm attached to doesn't matter. Krishna, my car goes away, fine, take it away, I don't care. Krishna, I lost my job, fine, whatever, We will lose the taste to accumulate wealth. We will lose the taste for any material attachment. It goes away. But the only way it's going to dwindle is by devotional service. And once we get more, next verse, Saki, once we get more and more involved in devotional service, we will begin to realize our original spiritual identity. And what is that? We are eternal servant of the Lord. Das, anudas. We will begin to learn that this body we have is not ours. We cannot abuse it. But we maintain it to serve the Lord and His devotees. We use this body, our knowledge, our intelligence, our money, our what have you, in Krishna's service and offer everything to the Lord. And then we will also begin to learn that this material world is a prison house with no walls. A prison house with no walls. How many of us have seen a prison? In school? When you're in science? Yeah. Have you seen inside the prison? It's very, very scary. It's very dark. It's very lonely. It's crazy. Exactly. Absolutely. This material world is a prison house with no walls. And we are stuck in it. And it's no place to enjoy. It's a place of misery. But we tend to forget. Look what's happening in Ukraine. It's really sad. It's really, really sad. One day they wake up and, imagine living in a place where every time you look out and you hear the bombs, the airplanes, the what have you. We are very fortunate. But then again, we're also unfortunate because we're stuck in the material world present with no walls. So we have to begin to learn that I have fallen into this ocean of birth and death. We have to begin. You know what, Anasuya? You have fallen into the ocean of birth and death. So my next prayer should be, get me out. Get me out of this prison. What do I have to do to get out of this prison? What should I do? When a prisoner is in prison and he needs to come out of prison, what does he do? He begs for bail. He begs for help. Get an attorney. Fight my case. Get me out of the jail. I want to be free. We beg for mercy. We beg. Saki, next verse. We beg for mercy. We beg till we cry. We should be crying until the tears are decorating our faces. The only time that we actually cry with tears decorating our face is when we have lost someone, a dear one, or lost something very valuable. How many times have we cried to the Lord, get me out of this place? That means if we haven't cried, begging for mercy, the heart is very hard. Gotta break it. Gotta break it. It's only by the holy name. Gotta break it because the heart is steeled. We gotta cry, Krishna, get me out of this hell. Give me the mercy. Take what is blocking me. Remove what is blocking. But let me get your mercy. I want to get out. And we cry like a child crying to the mother or to the father. You know, sometimes when the kids get lost in the store, right, they run around crying. And someone finds them, takes them to the customer service department and announces, so-and-so, come and get your child. Shri Shri Gaura ki Jagnabali Subhadra ki jai. And we realize, okay, my kids, where's my child? And child, as soon as the child sees the mother, like, Mommy. I remember my accident in 1999. It's a very, very bad accident. Through the 7 mountains towards coming back from State College. And to cut a long story short, I was in a hospital. And Rinda was about 18 months old. And I was completely messed up. I couldn't even, and she was a breastfed baby. I couldn't do anything. I remember the nurse coming and telling me, we cannot calm your daughter down. She was on the other end of the ward, and I could hear this girl screaming on the top of her lungs. And here am I with a banged up face because on a car accident, my hand split open over here, and I'm like, I'm losing blood. I'm like, how do I give this girl breastfeed this girl? I couldn't. She cried for 4 hours. And finally, my husband comes up. As soon as she saw her dad, she stopped. And the nurse said, you must be the dad. Did we cry like that for Krishna? We have to cry like that for the Lord. The tears should decorate our face. Not the makeup and the, what do you call that? What they put on the face? I don't know, but anyway. Whatever they put on the face. That shouldn't decorate our face. You can see I don't put anything in my face. That's why I don't know this stuff, unfortunately. That's one thing my dad said, you don't make yourself look pretty. I'm like, whatever. But my dad used to always tell me, no man is going to marry you the way you look because you don't decorate your face. Well, I got one. It's right there, my husband. So I'm good. I'm lucky. I'm good. I'm set. But yeah. Rather than putting makeup on our face, our tears have to decorate our faces. Crying for the Lord, begging for the Lord, give me mercy. Give me the devotees. Because the devotees are kalpavriksha trees. They are desire trees. So when we get to the stage, we have to ask the Lord, remove the obstacles. What is blocking me? I want to cry for you. In fact, I was listening to a lecture, I forgot who it was. And I think I want to say Gaura Swami, I think. He said, even if we cannot cry to the Lord, you should tell the Lord, Lord, I cannot cry. Please help me to cry. Help me to cry so I can cry sincerely. And make my heart soft so that I can cry naturally. Give me the devotees association. And it's only by the devotees association can we learn to develop the taste for chanting. The more we hang out with devotees, what happens is we crave for more devotee association. Devotee association should want us to crave for more devotee association. If we do not crave for devotee association, that means we have been pulled back from other bombardments. We want to crave for devotee association. And the more we crave for devotee association, we have to look for spiritual nourishment. And when we do that, when we see ourselves getting more taste for spiritual nourishment, we lose taste for hearing mundane topics. Now we lose taste in hearing this, whatever's happening in this world, whatever's happening in that world, whatever's happening with Biden, whatever's happening with Putin, whatever's happening with whatever's happening with Amitabh Bachchan, whatever's happening with, whoever the stars. We don't care. Because whatever's happening to these big celebrities is not going to help our Krishna consciousness. If anything, it's going to make us more stuck in it. They're enjoying their lives in India, becoming famous. They're enjoying their lives in California, in the Hollywood, enjoying their lives. They don't care. They're like, who's on a suya? I don't know who it is. Doesn't matter about me. No, it's our Krishna consciousness. We tend to lose taste in hearing and talking mundane topics. Then slowly we develop detachment from things that we used to be very attached to. We develop detachment. And once we did develop detachment, then what increases? The hearing and chanting. Like we said, we have 2 ears and 1 mouth. We have to double the hearing and cut back on the talking. Biggest challenge. We have to double the hearing and 50% reduction on the talking. And that's why I always encourage devotees is whenever we have prasadam together, talk Krishna conscious topics. Forget about Super Bowl. Forget about, the stock market. Forget about anything material. Forget it. They come and they go. But Bhakti Siddhanta Maharaj used to say, and I love it, and until today I stick to it. Politicians may change, but politics always remain. It's a fact. Because we don't have Maharaj Yudhishthir running the country. We don't. Politicians may change, but politics remain. So we lose taste in all these mundane topics. Our taste for hearing and chanting increases. We want to hear more, we want to hear more, we want to hear more. And it never ends. So when we come together, rather than talking of mundane topics, talk about, how can I serve? Give me some service. Is there any service? How can I do this? How can I improve in this? How can I improve in that? How can I grow? How can I increase my hearing? How can I increase my chanting? Our topics of discussion should be, how can I get better? Not how can you get better, how can I get better? Because like my dad used to always say, no one can earn your salvation. That's a very common Christian comment. Only you can earn your own salvation. And from there, then comes the realization of, I am so far from my Lord. I'm so separated. I'm so lonely. How many of us have felt lonely in this world right now? We never felt lonely. When you were lost? My daughter's funny. And you know why we don't feel lonely? Because we have our husbands beside us, we have our wife beside us, we have the children beside us, we have friends around us, so we don't feel lonely. But do you know who really understands the meaning of loneliness? The orphans. Because why? They have nobody in this world. And the orphans are always praying, God, why am I going through this? The orphans are the ones that make the sincere prayer. Why am I going through this? Why am I in this? How can I get out? The orphans will understand true loneliness. So we have to come to the stage that I am away from my Lord. Why? And how do I develop that mood of understanding that I am away from my Lord? I'm lonely, I'm vacant. And once we become and understand what it means to be lonely, then we will come to the life of perfection. We are learning this, you can go to next verse, Vishaka. We are learning this in Bhishma Dev. If any of you and have not been following the Bhagavatam class, it's nectar. It's pure nectar. Srila Prabhupada mentioned in Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 1, Chapter 9, verse 43, that Bhishma Dev, on his dying bed, he attained the highest perfection of life. And Srila Prabhupada beautifully explains in the purport that in order for us to attain the highest perfection in life, we should not be deviated. The biggest problem is deviation. We go off track. When we take a train to Pittsburgh, and when the train takes a wrong track, it ends up in Philadelphia. Deviated. We have to make sure that whatever we are doing, we're not off track. And how can we avoid deviation? By following the 9 processes of devotional service. Srila Prabhupada ends in that purport so beautifully. He says, the most important of the 9 is which one? Hearing. Why? Why not chanting? Why not remembering? Why not worshiping the Lord? Why hearing? Why is hearing the most important of all the 9? Any feedback? Why is hearing the most important? Yes. Right, but why is it the most important? And not the chanting, not the remembering, and not the rest of the 9, and rest of the 8. Why hearing? The more we hear, the more we remember. Like in school. When you go to school, when we listen to the teacher, we remember what the teacher said. If you don't pay attention in class, we won't remember anything because we were on the cell phone, tuck, 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 right? Because the attention is not in class, nor is it on the cell phone, it's God knows why, because our hearing is not there. And the hearing is the most challenging thing in today's times. And it's getting worse day by day. Because we want to move the lips, the mouth first, rather than hearing. You know, like I've come across situations where I'm telling something to someone, but honestly, I'm like, let me finish. Hear me out. Listen. Let me finish. Because we want to jump right in rather than hear. And isn't it amazing that Srila Prabhupada wrote this Bhagavatam how many years ago? 1965 to 1969? What year are we in? 2022? After 50-something years? And has hearing gotten better? It's getting worse. So it's amazing how Srila Prabhupada said, the most important is hearing. So the more we hear, the more we remember. The more we remember, and the more we chant, the more we clean our hearts. The more we clean our hearts, the more we realize how unfortunate I am. And then when we start to realize how unfortunate and lost we are, then we ask ourselves, how do I get out of this? What is blocking it? And when we realize, oh my God, I got the 6 enemies that I got to remove in my life. That's why, because I'm not humble and I'm not tolerant. I got to clean up these enemies. And how do I get rid of all these enemies? Devotional service. And the more we do devotional service, the more service we get. And the more service we get, more purification, more learning, more cleansing, more growing. It increases our enthusiasm. And the more devotional service we get, then we realize, oh my God, I am not attracted to these things that I used to be attracted to. I don't like wearing that the way I used to. I don't like those topics of discussion. I've lost my interest, right? And the more we get to the stage, then we're like, Krishna, you're so far away from me. I want to be with you. My God, why am I here? I'm separated from my Lord. I'm all lonely, right? And once we get to the stage, then we say, give me the mercy. And then we cry, and we cry, and we cry, until our faces are covered with the tears of love, sincerely asking the Lord, get me out of this hell. And once we get to that stage, only then will we understand what it means to attain the highest perfection in life, just like Bhishma Dev. And Prabhupada says that this human form of life is for us to die on the battlefield, just as Bhishma Dev did. And we all know the story of Bhishma Dev. Amazing, amazing soul, one of the 12 Mahajans. So this is the culmination of the 8 verses that we have covered over 8 weeks. Did the best I could to cover it. Thank you for being patient. Any questions, any comments, any takeaways? Like we said in the beginning of class, if we haven't taken one point from this class, then our minds were in Timbuktu. I've always said that since I was in grade school, so it always stuck with me, Timbuktu. So, any feedback, any questions, any comments, any add-ons? If not, any takeaways? I would like to hear one point that we have learned that we can take home with us. Yes, Nitya Gopal, thank you. Sure, Prabhupada. 50% reduction. Wonderful point. You know, my dad used to always tell me, if you want to learn something, act stupid. Because you're only listening, right? Like you said. Then you can learn more. Absolutely. Thank you. Very nice takeaway. We have to double the hearing and reduce 50% of the talking. Thank you, Prabhu. Thank you. Any other takeaways? Yes, Mamina. Yes. Haribol. And that's the purpose. That's the goal of life. It's nonsense. Forget it. Drop it, right? That's the whole thing. Haribol. Nice. Yes. Haribol. Very nice. The more we listen, the more we get the taste for chanting. Absolutely. Thank you. Very nice. Yes, Vrinda. Two points. If we have, especially we have, what second, the last question? The more we have the desire to want to hear, the more Krishna will make arrangements to make time. We have to have the desire, Krishna, I want to hear more. Please make it possible. Sincerely ask the Lord, I really, really want to hear more. Please make it possible. And the Lord will make the arrangement to make the time for us to hear more. Number two, I think there are so many opportunities. Which one is right? Consult with a senior devotee. For example, I don't know how many of you know this, well, because I'm married to a chemist. There are so many chemistry textbooks out there. I mean, every professor is writing a textbook on chemistry. Which of the textbook is the right textbook to follow? What do? We go to the chemistry professor and we ask the professor, so-and-so, there are so many chemistry textbooks out there on this one topic. Which is the right textbook I should follow? And the professor will tell you, of all the books out there on, I'm just going to pick up, say, valency bonds. It's one of the topics in chemistry. He or she will say, this is the best book. It explains very nicely. You'll get the point. Get this book. Don't get the other one. So we have to go to the right person for the right knowledge. We do not go to a biology teacher to ask history questions. Sometimes we do that because we think everybody should know history. I don't. I'll tell you right now. I am very bad in history. My sister is very good in history. I remember when my kids had to do a history class for college, I told them, go call my sister. Don't come to me. I don't know nothing in history. Same thing. So if we want to know which is the right source to learn or to hear, consult with a senior devotee. Very, very, very important. And if we are initiated, consult with the spiritual master. If we are not, or if we don't have access to the guru, consult with the senior devotee, and they will tell you which is right and which is wrong. Sometimes we think that we have to jump from first grade to 10th grade, and we take a 10th grade textbook and we realize, oh my God, this makes no sense to me. Like I said one time, I mentioned in my class a few weeks ago, when I was in 9th grade back in Singapore, my father took me to the university in Singapore. There's only one big one there, National University of Singapore. He took me to a bookstore and he asked me, pick up a book and I'll buy it. And I said, Daddy, I'm in 9th grade. This is a university. Nothing applies to me. Everything is Latin. I don't know what this book is. He says, no, just pick it up. Because he was very attached to me becoming a doctor. Of course, I'm not a doctor, thank God. But he was very attached to me becoming a doctor. So just to please him, I bought a third-year biochemistry textbook. Make sense? No. Why would I buy it? Same thing. When we are in first grade, we deal with first grade knowledge. Because when we were in school, we didn't jump from first grade to 12th grade. It took us, and if you think about this, right, I think in US they have kindergarten. They don't have lower kindergarten, do they? Just kindergarten, right? Okay. From kindergarten up until 12th grade, how many years is that? 13 years, right? Then 4 years of college. 13 plus 4 is 7. If you do master's, 1 year. Okay, that's 18 years, right? 18 years to finish university to get a job. And sometimes we want to finish 18 months of Krishna consciousness and think I got it. If it took us 18 years to finish college, to get a job, why would it take us 18 months to understand Krishna consciousness? It's a science. It's a process. So we got to hear from the right source and go step by step. No rushing, step by step. And ask a senior devotee, is this the right thing for me to hear? Is this the right video for me to watch? Is this the right speaker for me to hear? Is this the right book for me to read? We consult with the seniors, and the seniors will tell you where you're at. Probably this is the safest book. And then we'll go to the next step. They will guide us, just like how the teachers guide us. So that's the answer for that question. Very important that we seek. And we need senior devotees in our lives. We should never ever think, I have made it, I'm good, I'm covered, I don't need guidance. Once we, actually Chandramali Swami, and I wish I have that quote with me handy. If you go to cmswami.com, I think it's still existing. If you go to cmswami.com, there is, and this is Chandramali Swami's website, he has, what do you call that, different links, Aditya? Sublinks? Whatever, you know. There's one, Thank you. You say, I don't do computers, so I have to go to the experts. I don't know nothing in computers. And there's one link that I think it's called Nectar or Drops of Nectar or something. And it's years of quotes by Chandramali Swami. And in one quote he says that if a devotee thinks, I've done it, I've got it, I don't need guidance, we fall down. We go zoop down. So we need guidance. Even I've been doing this for 30 years, and I still get guidance from my seniors. I have about 7 to 10 seniors. I never do anything without them. And those seniors are proper disciples. And those same proper disciples get guidance from their senior God brothers who are proper disciples. That's the parampara system. So we need to take shelter and get guidance from the senior devotees. Very, very important. And we should never think that we don't need it. Once we think, then we are in big mess. I mean, that's very detrimental for our spiritual life. Any other points? Any other takeaways? Any other realizations? Any other reflections? Thank you. Srila Prabhupada's mercy. Yes. Yes. Actually, the only time that we'll feel lonely is at the time of death. Because when we leave our bodies, we're not bringing our husbands and wives and children with us. We are checking out alone. That is when we'll feel most lonely, and that is when we have to increase the hearing of the holy name so that we never forget the Supreme Lord, ever, ever, ever. Thank you. Very good point. We'll end the class now. It's almost way past time, but I really, really hope and pray that each one of us have a takeaway to take home, because this is a very important point. The goal is to keep us in the mood for Gaura Purnima. It's coming up on Thursday. We have to meditate on these 8 prayers by Lord Caitanya. Very, very important. So when we come for Gaura Purnima this Thursday, we can throw ourselves at his feet and beg for mercy. That's the goal. We have to throw ourselves at his feet and beg for mercy. Srila Prabhupada ki. Get your dad. Oh, he's there.
Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Iti Namine. Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Sunyavadi Paschatya Shatani Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivachadi Gaur Bhaktavrinda Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivachadi Gaur Bhaktavrinda Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivachadi Gaur Bhaktavrinda Jaya Gaur Bhaktavrinda Jaya Gaur Bhaktavrinda Jaya Gaur Bhaktavrinda Jaya Gaur Bhaktavrinda Nithai Gauranga Nithai Gauranga Nithai Gauranga Nithai Gauranga Nithai Gauranga Gaura Hari Nithai Gauranga Gaura Hari Nithai Gauranga Nithai Gauranga Bolo Nithai Gauranga Nithai Gauranga Nithai Gauranga Gaura Hari Nithai Gauranga Gaura Hari Jaya Sachinandana Jaya Sachinandana Jai Sachinandana Jaya Sachinandana Jaya Sachinandana Gaura Hari Jaya Sachinandana Gaura Hari. Gaura 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 Hari. Gaura 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 Hari. Nitai Gauranga Gaura Hari. Nitai Gauranga Gaura Hari. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare. Jaya Jagannath, Jaya Jagannath, Jaya Baladeva, Jaya Subhadra. Jaya Jagannath, Jaya Jagannath, Jaya Baladeva, Jaya Subhadra. Jaya Gaura Nitai, Jaya Gaura Nitai, Gaura Nitai, Jaya Gaura Nitai. Gaura Nitai, Jaya Gaura Nitai, Gaura Nitai, Jaya Gaura Nitai. Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada. Nitai Gaura Haribo, 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 Nitai Gaura Haribo. Jaya Jaya Guru De, Guru De, Guru De, Jaya Jaya Guru De. Nitai Gaura Haribo, 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 Nitai Gaura Haribo. Jaya Om Vishnupad Paramhansa Privajakachaja Stotra Satyasishi Maharaj Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Shri Prabhupada Ki. Jaya Om Vishnupad Paramhansa Privajakachaja Stotra Satyasishi Maharaj Divine Grace Shri Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Maharaj Prabhupada Ki. Ananta Kuti Vaishnavinda Ki. Namacharya Shri Haridas Thakur Ki. ISKCON Founder Acharya Shri Prabhupada Ki. प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री द्वैत गदाधर शिवासरि गौर भक्तवृंद की श्री श्री राधा कृष्ण गोप गोपीनाथ श्याम कुंड राधा कुंड गिरि गोवर्धन की वृंदावन धाम की मथुरा धाम की नवद्वीप धाम की जगन्नाथपुरी धाम की जगन्नाथ स्वामी की गंगा मई की जमुना मई की तुलसी देवी की भक्ति देवी की हरे कृष्ण महामंत्र की Samaveta Bhaktivinoda ki, Nitai Gaura Premanande. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the lotus feet of Shri Shri Guru and Gauranga. Namaste Narasimhaya. Namaste Narasimhaya. Pralada Lada Daini Pralada Lada Daini Hiranyakasipu Vaksha Ilatankanakalai Ito nesingo parato nesingo Ito nesingo parato nesingo Toya toya mita to nesingo Yato yato ya mita to nesingo Baye nesingo hidaye nesingo Ayene singo, hinayene singo. Alisingaring saranam papadi. Nasingamading saranam papadi. Tavakala kamara vadinaka abuta singa dalita hiranyakasipu tanu bringam keshavadita narari rupa jaya jagadisha re Jaya Jagadisha Re Jaya Jagadisha Re Keshavadita narari rupa Jaya Jagadisha Re Jaya Jagadisha Re Jaya Jagadisha Re Jaya Nasingade, 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 Jaya Nasingade. Jaya Pralanmara, Jaya Pralanmara, Pralanmara, Jaya Pralanmara. Haribo, 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 Nitai Gaura Haribo. Nitai Gaura Haribo, 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 Nitai Gaura Haribo. भगवान की, प्रहलाद महाराज की, इच्छा गौर प्रेमानंदे।
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Srila Prabhupada ki. It's so nice to see more and more devotees coming back to the temple. Haribol. 2 years is enough. I don't know about you guys, but I've got serious cabin fever. I am done with this one. I'm done with zoomitis, computeritis, and all those sicknesses. I'm done. So it's so nice to see more devotees coming back. And please bring more bodies back with you, because we have been in business and we're still in business. And we only do one business, Krishna conscious business, bas. Haribol, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Want to welcome Colby to our community. Haribol. So nice to have you here with us, Prabhu, and we hope that we will see more and more of you. And yes, and his journey is so sweet that he got so attracted to Krishna consciousness through Bhakti Yoga, and he says, I need a community, and we are happy that you're part of this community. We embrace you back, you're into this family, so please join us on this bandwagon. Haribol, wonderful. A few announcements. What's coming up? Haribol, March 17th. It's on Thursday. And it's one of my favorite festivals. The reason being is Gaura Purnima is a Vaishnava New Year. It's our New Year, so we should celebrate it like how we celebrate December 31st, or even more, actually. And it's a wonderful day of begging for mercy. As we talked about in class, if we won the mercy, Gaura Purnima is a very special day to do extra service, extra chanting, extra reading, extra surrendering, extra everything. So the temple will be open from 1 p.m. up until the end of the program on Gaura Purnima, and there will be devotees here. Some of us might be in the kitchen. So if any of you are inclined and enthused to be able to take a day off from our work and would like to do service, please do come see me. We definitely need help in cooking, cleaning, vacuuming, the list goes on. And it's a beautiful day to do service on Gaura Purnima. That's the way we can clean our hearts and beg for mercy. We talked about begging for mercy. So this is the best way to beg for mercy. So we do a lot of things for our material life. Why not do it for Krishna? So please do see me if you're able to render some service on Gaura Purnima day, because we definitely could use some help, a lot of help actually on that day. And if any of you would like to experience how to make those tears come down like torrents of rain, as Lord Caitanya says, I highly recommend purchasing the Shri Prabhupada Lilamrita and Chaitanya Charitamrita. If Hari Bol, if you have not read one of them, the tears ain't gonna come down. I'll tell you right now. And Prabhupada Lilamrita, I always sing the glories because I personally have experienced it. It is a must for everyone to read it. And that is how we can experience the tears and really know what Prabhupada really went through. Because knowing about, hearing is one thing, but reading his walks of life is no joke. And again, 70 years he came to America. So please, if you would like to purchase any or both of the sets, please do say Nitya Gopal Prabhu, Swana Gauranga Prabhu, and Prasad Prabhu at the back, and they will be more than happy to help you have your tears come down. Haribol. So get ready for the tears to start flowing down like torrents of rain, as Lord Caitanya prayed to Krishna on that day. So please do come out. And Gaura Purnima program will start at 6 o'clock on the dot, because it's a weekday. And we will have bhajans, we will have Abhishek of Gaura, followed by drama, 2 dramas actually, and followed by Kirtan and Gaura Arti. and a wonderful prasadam feast. And on Lord Chaitanya, we observe Ekadasi. The reason being is Lord Chaitanya appeared as a devotee, and in that mood, we observe it as we observe Ekadasi and not grain prasad. So please do mark that. We also do welcome Chapanbhog. If anyone would like to bring a small offering for the Lord, please do bring, but please, we humbly request that be home cooked and not store-bought. When we cook at home, we add a lot of bhakti in it. Store-bought has been packaged, I don't know how long, they just changed the dates on it for expiration pretty much. So home-cooked food is the best, and please do make it Ekadasi, since it's Lord Chaitanya's appearance day, that we can offer it to the Lord on Gaura Purnima. We have a very busy April coming up. So April 9th, pulling up my list here because I don't remember that pretty well. Actually, before I go that, I don't know if many of you have noticed that our bathroom has been remodeled. If you haven't checked it out, please go check it out. And the devotee that remodeled it is not here today because his wife had surgery 2 weeks ago, but he'll be coming hopefully in Gaura Purnima. Bhakta Josh, he has really worked really hard to get the bathroom to where it's at. He has remodeled the bathroom and the shower. So when you see him, please do give him a thank you, because Krishna sent this devotee to really do a wonderful facelift of the bathroom. It's a very, very nice one. So please do go check it out. And also, if you notice, there's something different on Prabhupada's Vyasasan. Who can tell me the difference? Two things different. Side rails and Prabhupada's name in the front. Haribol. This is, and again, those rails were done by Parikshit and Josh. So, yes. So these are, and when we request for donation on festivals, like such as Gaura Purnima, it's a very opportune time for devotees. If you cannot do any actual service, if you were able to sponsor any of the festival events, because your kind donation go to services like this. Upgrading Prabhupada's Vyasasan, the bathroom remodeling, and the third project that we're working on right now is the nursery. And we hope to complete that by June. It's almost, that's about 70%. So parents with children from babies up until age 4 or 5 who are not in Sunday school, they can be down there with either the mother or the father and watch the lecture while the kids go round in the nursery and play anything. We will definitely have all the materials there for them. So that will be hopefully done by June, so that way there's some separate room for children ages, babies up until age 4 or 5 before they start Sunday school with either Mamina Mataji or Varsha Mataji. So again, if you're able to sponsor anything, if you're able to give a donation to any of the events for Gaura Purnima in the festivals, that's the purpose that we use the donation. Of course, it goes for the festival, but it also goes for Krishna's house. Prabhupada's house. So thank you so much. So the next events that are coming is April 9th is the Wedding Kirtan. First time we are doing it. We ask devotees to please come out and support the wedding yatra. We are going to go out in the park. I don't know where. We'll find out in a couple of weeks. But get ready. Prabhupada calls the Lord Chaitanya's army. Get ready to go out and chant the holy name and spread the holy name and have a jolly good time on April 9th. So we will give you more details for that, so please do look out for that. April 10th, and the next day is what? Ram Navami, another wonderful festival day on Sunday. Please mark your calendars. We will send out the news for that shortly. And April 16th, I'm telling you, we should never say we are bored. And if we say we are bored, please come see me. And whenever I say that, devotees avoid me. I get it, no problem. Don't worry, I don't get offended. I really don't get offended. But if we say we are bored, please do come see me, because there's always fun time in Krishna consciousness. April 16th, Saturday, is Earth Day on Main Street, Mechanicsburg, from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. And that is when the book team and the Harinan team, they go out. Haribol, Mamina's going to be there, the Nitya Gopal. She just clapped hands. I'm telling you, a big supporter, absolutely. It'll be from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. We need as many volunteers to come out and support the book team, support the Harinam team. So please, if you're able to offer any services, please do come see me. It's on April 16th, 9 a.m. to 3 p.m., Main Street in Mechanicsburg. April 23rd. What is that? Can you tell her to take the phone call outside, please? April 23rd is Spring Kirtan. 2 p.m. to 8 p.m. Huh? As of now, depending on the Kirtaniyas. Okay. So, yes, the one good news is one of the Kirtaniyas most likely will be Balabhadra Prabhu from ISKCON Atlanta. Yes. And we will have Vishnugada Prabhu. We will have, who else? Anuttama Prabhu probably, or GBC. You know, so we have a lot of senior devotees coming out. April 23rd, Saturday, 2 p.m. to 8 p.m. Please do join us for 6 hours of beautiful chanting of the holy name. That is the best. Just sit and chant and absorb and allow the chanting to crack our steel frame hearts. Gotta crack that. So please do join us. April 30th, Saturday. Nitya Gopal's like, huh? Downtown Harinam. It's coming up fast. We have a very busy month. April 30th, Saturday is Downtown Harinam Kirtan from 3 to 5. And as always at the Walnut Street Bridge and Front Street. So please, we have the book team and the Harinam team, so we request devotees come out, join us, give support, and especially to the young people. The youth that we have are very powerful. Very powerful. They do a lot of service, and we have to be present for them, and we have to join in service with them. We should not just watch them and say, okay, go do service, I'll just watch you. No, we have to join the bandwagon with them. Only then will they be more inspired. Yes, young people? Yes, see, they're very emphatic about that. So please do come out and support the young people. Last but not least is, Krishna, Krishna, Krishna. Yes, July 9th. Rath Yatra. It will be on Front Street, Kunkel Plaza. I'm still working out the details with the city. We're doing it after 2 years, so it's going to be a lot of getting off the couch and coming out of the house to do some more service for Lord Jagannath. So please do mark your dates, July 9th. I'm still working out the details, and we'll definitely need a lot of help because, like I said, after 2 years, when we have been locked up in Zoom life, we got to come out of Zoom and start making things happen. So we could use as much help as we can, as much support as we can in any and every way. So please do make yourself available, but do mark your calendars. July 9th is our Rath Yatra, downtown Harrisburg, Kunkel Plaza, and we'll give the details out soon. We also request devotees that we have been continuing Srimad Bhagavatam online classes for a little over 2 years now. It's been amazingly, amazingly nectarian. And our Bhagavad Gita circle, Monday, Wednesday, Friday evening has been so amazing with wonderful questions. And I love Prasad Prabhu's questions. I didn't want to put you on the spot, but your questions really make us think. I really want to thank you for that. It's such a wonderful reading program. I highly request devotees, please do attend our morning Bhagavatam class and our Bhagavad Gita circle class at night. It's really, really, really amazing. Last but not the least, whenever we are chanting and praying, do not forget the Ukrainian devotees. It is really tough on them right now, the whole country. And Krishna's arrangement, devotees all around ISKCON worldwide, they have been donating money from all corners just so that the Ukrainian devotees can actually do food for life to feed people that are stuck in shelter homes and basements and subway stations. And I was reading a news a few days ago, 2 weeks ago, that a mayor in a town came out and thanked the devotees and said, Your meal is the only hot meal that the people are getting, because they make hot khichdi and loaf of bread. So if we are able to donate Lakshmi, donate money to the Ukraine devotees, please do come see me, because there is a secure transaction that we are going through our head office in New Vrindavan, that it gets to the right person in Ukraine that handles the money correctly and it goes to the right source. So if you would like to donate, please do let me know, but they could use a lot of prayers and a lot of chanting. And the devotees over there are thanking us with tears in their eyes, saying, please thank the U.S. devotees and everyone in the world for their prayers. And when we think that we are suffering, we are not suffering. The Ukraine devotees are suffering. So let's think about them when we think that we're in hardship, because they, and amazingly, their faith is so strong. There was one news I just read a few days ago that they turned the lights off in the house and they had a little lamp and they were chanting the holy name. Beautiful, so nice. So these are the kinds of situations that give us faith, increase our faith in the Supreme Lord, that there is a God named Krishna and He is watching over us. So let's continue our prayers, let's continue our thoughts and our chant. Whenever we chant, please meditate on the Ukraine devotees. Pray to the Lord to relieve them soon so that they can be freed from that hellish situation, because they are going through some tough times. So we really need to help them. So if you're able to help, please do see me and I will direct you with the right way to send the money over in a secure transaction. I think that is about it. Yes, we are done. Until then, thank you all for coming out. Please do not forget to see the deities, have the darshan, and do not forget prasadam. That's prasadam downstairs. Yes, Swarna Goranga. I know you love prasadam, and I'm glad. So please enjoy prasadam, and until next week, and we hope to see the same faces coming out and the same crowd, and bring more to add more to the crowd, so that we can make our Krishna consciousness as an eternal playground for the Lord. Srila Prabhupada ki!